All right, everyone, welcome to this brand new episode of Flow of Conscious. Hey, this is your host, Eddie, and I was just thinking about making yesterday's episode and how much fun it is to just get rid of the visuals for right now. It's giving me confidence and allowing me to focus on the audio, which I've always found was the most important part of content creation. It's just to have that radio quality. In fact, this renewed bit of motivation on my YouTube channel has been following up a comment in my spin class where I was being vulnerable about my relationship and somebody saying, you know what, you should really have a podcast. I was like, huh? Me? And yeah, it's funny how these little things really help give you confidence, that sense of community. I don't even remember who she was. I just know she was one of my beloved participants and made me believe in myself here for a second and thinking, what if I filled the air with a bunch of nonsense? Wouldn't that be relaxing? One thing I've been getting into is Gurdjieff, which is an ascended master from the mid 19th century who lived in his older age into the early tw- earliest early 20th century, and just kind of a sage, somebody who is really good at dance. And my dance instructor Jojo told me that I got him onto Osho back in the day when he was theorizing and trying to synthesize all his knowledge and to deepen his pedagogy. And now that he's been doing more yoga and getting into Osho's dynamic meditations, etc., I feel like it's given him a really interesting framework, putting names on concepts that just make it a lot easier for him to theorize about something so complex as dance, where the art meets the exercise, meets the connection to the music. It is a very unique art form and deserves a lot of thought and philosophy. So I was definitely, I think I sent him about 3 or 4 of these Gurdjieff introduction videos, and getting into it myself, there is so much to unpack. First of all, he's called the mischievous, I think something like, he's a rebel. He was a rebel. At one point, he freaked out on a train and started throwing a fit and things at people, and just kind of a very eccentric character. But he's most known for being an author and a choreographer. Another bit was from a movie, I'll link below in the description, a movie made about him with superb cinematographic quality, and it really conveys what he was about. Largely, when he went to Tibet, he was not overly impressed with the shamanism, because this was a person on a quest for some really deep esoteric knowledge. He found his experience in Tibet superficial, and yet he came back really glamorizing it and playing off of that oriental mysticism. So that movie has him walking through a Himalayan ashram, going through different tableaus of disciples, rehearsing and doing his sacred dances, which I've done. And Osho, I've learned about from my aunt Mukti, who went to study in India. And same with Gurdjieff, I've done workshops with her of these sacred dances. So that's why I wanted to share it so bad with Jojo, because it reminds me quite a bit of tutting. cutting, which is lots of angles and a sort of an Egyptian inspo. So we're going to move on here to a little bit of singing from the Shenandoah Harmony book. This is page 12 at the bottom. Strewed water. Fa la sol la fa sol. Fa sol fa sol la fa la sol fa. Fa sol la fa la sol la sol fa sol. Mi fa so 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 fa la so fa la so fa. So with shape note singing, we typically sing the shapes first before we go on the words. Thy ways, O God, is in the sea. Thy paths I cannot trace, nor comprehend the mystery of thy unbounded grace. O fit us for thy righteous will, thy mercy, Lord, impart. Help us thy pleasure to fulfill, and yield thee all our hearts. All right. A little bit more vibrato than if I was singing with other people. I gotta find something to fill the air nicely with. So yeah, Gurdjieff, I'm gonna keep you posted what I discover, but for right now, I'm just trying to take it in and being extremely fascinated by what he was trying to accomplish. Quite the taskmaster, I think, in the communes that he was a part of. He just liked to put people to work, so definitely would not want to be a disciple unless I was really important to him, like writing a book about him and he could like let me off the hook about the manual labor. But I just wouldn't want to get blisters on those shovels, and like especially like I hope he didn't get people up in the morning where like to plow the land when it was like frozen. I think there would be no greater affront to comfort and hedonism. And also wanted to just say a little bit about AI before we close up here, because it's so relevant and I've been giving it a little bit of thought because I'm kind of against it. But I used it in some of my recent shorts, like the video game simulation one. I thought, with this use case of generating a little victory song and of the boss, I think the boss looks crap. Like it really doesn't look that great. So it's not like I'm using AI for like best results. It's really kind of a collage. What if I printed out some AI art and then used scissors and painted around it and over it, and you know but it's definitely not environmentally friendly, and that's something I think is not talked about enough. Apparently, it takes 2 liters of water for a single ChatGPT query. Nobody's thinking about all the server farms that are depleting these lands. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and to like. I'll see you again so soon.